Hi there, my name is Ryan Ledbetter. There are many leadership qualities that a good leader can have, but one of the most important that I believe is charisma. So in this presentation, I'm going to take some time to kind of teach you about charisma and why it's important as a leader. So the outcome of this presentation is I want you guys to be able to have a working definition for charisma and understand that why this quality is necessary. There are a lot of qualities that you can use as a leader throughout your day, but which ones do you find that you're better at and which ones do you find that you have an area of opportunity with? So I'm going to focus on charisma in this presentation, but I also, as I go throughout this presentation, I want you to examine your current character traits. I want you to look at yourself and be honest with yourself and say, in what ways do I feel like that I could improve on charisma or other leadership traits as well? So charisma, plainly stated, is the ability to draw people to you, and like other traits, it can be developed, as referred to in our textbook. Charisma can help you attract others to your way of thinking, as well as giving them the opportunity to grow professionally and personally. Charismatic leaders typically have extraordinary communication skills. This helps to motivate employees through tough times and also help them stay grounded when things seem to be going okay. Charismatic leaders are also equally comfortable communicating in a one-on-one setting or a group setting, which makes them dynamic leaders. So now that you kind of know what charisma is, why do you need it? So like I mentioned earlier, if you have a variety of leadership traits in your repertoire, it helps you to be innovative and powerful. Having charisma requires a leader to be mindful of their audience, which means you have to be receptive to everyone else, and you also have to be emotionally intelligent and think about the needs of others and how you can help them meet those needs throughout your presentation, throughout your discussions with them, throughout anything that you do, any sort of communication you have to be strategic about it. Having charisma can ensure that you maintain a positive first impression because you never get a second chance at that. A lot of people, when they meet you, whatever they see first, that's what they're going to continue to think about you. So having charisma gives you the opportunity to give that firm handshake and to extend the gratitude for them even taking the time to meet with you. Charisma also helps you to motivate people, not only customers, but employees, especially if you're introducing a new product or a new service that your company's offering. It helps you to establish buy-in. If you have the charisma, you can make people believe in what you're saying, to make them feel like there is a need for this, that there is something in it for them, because that's ultimately what people want. Everybody's at a profession for a specific reason, and everybody comes to presentations for a reason. They want to learn something, or they want the chance to grow personally or to grow professionally. And having that buy-in can lead to higher productivity as well as retention of employees. When brainstorming about who I thought was a charismatic leader, the first name that came to mind was Martin Luther King Jr. In such a short life, he was able to accomplish so much with his charisma. He used his charisma to draw large crowds, and I feel like that he'll forever go down in history as a civil rights pioneer. When I was in elementary school, we learned about his I Have a Dream speech. And I feel like that this is so important for young people to learn today too, because he, through his charisma, was able to change the lives of so many people. And these are positive changes that he made. He was able to awaken our country to the problems that we had here, as well as awaken the world. And he will always go down as someone that I will truly respect and try to learn from, as far as if you were to watch his videos and try to learn how he was able to do that. He was using charisma the whole time. Now that you know what charisma is and how it can be used, in what ways can it be demonstrated? So I kind of use my own experiences for this. In my current position, I demonstrate charisma when I'm giving large presentations. A lot of my job is that I go to high schools and I meet with high school students about dual enrollment possibilities through the University of West Georgia. Well, these students have the opportunity to meet with all kinds of schools, especially at these large presentations. There may be 5 or 6 schools there. So I really have to try to find ways to make myself stand out as well as the University of West Georgia stand out, because we want them to remember us and why we can help them through their educational journey. Also, I used to work for K Jewelers. I was a store manager for them. I worked for them for 5 years, and throughout my tenure there, I worked for a lot of different stores and I worked with a lot of different employees. Managing salespeople can be very challenging at times, but it takes a lot of charisma. It takes constant charisma because you have to find ways to motivate them. As I mentioned earlier, you have to help them through the tough times, but you also have to find ways to keep them motivated when things seem to be going well. Because in sales, it could change on a day to day. You're not always going to have a great sales day. You're not always going to have a terrible sales day, but you have to find ways to make your employees persevere through those things. Also, another portion of my job at the University of West Georgia is I work for the orientation team, which means I help to greet new students as they're coming to campus, and I also present to students too while I'm there. So I feel like it's really important for me to have charisma when I'm doing that, because we are the first faces they see when they come to campus and start their journey as a West Georgia Wolf. So like I asked you to do earlier, I have analyzed myself in what ways that I feel like I could demonstrate charisma better. The first thing I thought of was smile. I've actually been told that I don't smile enough when I'm presenting, and I think that's something that I could definitely work on, because if you believe in what you're doing and you feel confident about it, you're going to smile, and that's going to make others smile. And when people are happy, that gets them to buy into what it is that you're speaking to them about. Also, avoid fidgeting, which means playing with your hands or grabbing your face while you're presenting or stuff like that. Having good positive body language while you're presenting. Also, clarifying. When people ask you questions, especially in a large audience, clarify what they say to find out what they actually meant. And don't predict your response halfway through what they're saying. Don't try to predict what you're going to say to be able to counter what they said. Listen to everything that they're saying and then clarify it back to them so that you're sure that you're answering the correct question. Also, you need to take an interest in the betterment of others. A big part of being a leader is helping everyone to develop professionally and personally. So if you take an interest in them, people will be more likely to stay with you longer. And you also need to focus on making others feel better about themselves. That's your total job as a leader. You're responsible for people as a leader, and you need to take that responsibility very seriously. And the biggest thing, honestly, is to not make everything about me. As a leader, it's about you and the people that are on your team and what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. So in conclusion, taking an interest in people and their attitudes is an extremely important aspect as a leader. Having charisma gives us the ability to convince others and motivate them to do what it is that we're trying to get them to do. A strong, charismatic leader will be comfortable in their own skin, as well as always maintain confidence when speaking to others. A truly charismatic leader will inspire others as well as maintain a constant positive and enthusiastic attitude. Charismatic leaders are known for helping each other reach their full potential and to develop professionally and personally. It is also important for inspiring leaders to constantly analyze themselves to get better. That's continuous improvement. That's always taking the chance to learn something new and to make yourself better. So in our textbook, Maxwell gives us 3 ways in which we can improve our charisma. The first one is change your focus. So when you're speaking to someone, you need to look and say, am I making this all about me? How much time am I spending concentrating on me? And am I actually listening to the other person? The second thing is to play the first impression game, which essentially means for the next people you meet, go and see how much time are you spending actually trying to make a first impression. Are you actually trying to find ways to relate to that person and to meet them on their level and to make them like you? And also share yourself. And I kind of found this one too. In the textbook, he mentioned that you need to analyze how you can add value to others by providing them with resources. But I think a big part of this is to be real with people and to let people see who you actually are, because who you are is going to help them grow professionally and grow personally. And I like to close with this. This was a great quote I found. How can you have charisma? Be more concerned about making others feel good about themselves rather than making them feel good about you. And I thought this was so powerful because as a leader, it's not all about you.